This is the 77 WABC minicast.
So over the years, when people describe me as a journalist, even a media member, I know I am, I get it, but I don't consider myself that. I consider myself like a half-assed entertainer, fighter, entertainer, all those fun things, not as serious as a media person or a journalist. But when one of us, one of our friends passes away, especially somebody you knew pretty well, it hurts. And we had a guy here who came here at the end of his career after a legendary TV career. You know, Michelle Marsh and Warner Wolf and Rosanna Scotto and Greg Kelly and Heidi Tong. I can't even name all the people this amazing guy worked with. We talked about him just 30 minutes ago. But Ernie Anastos did work here at the end of his career, and we found out yesterday that he passed away at the age of 82. Just the nicest guy ever. He did a podcast here, okay? It was called Positively Ernie, because on a day where I'd be yelling and screaming, it was on my show every morning about 9:45 a.m., I'd be yelling and screaming about all the negatives about New York City and the mayor and all the garbage and the Democrats. He would come on, he'd be happy and interviewing New Yorkers on the street about what was good. And he was good. And something tells me my dear friend Brian Kilmeade, who does an amazing job after me each and every weekday morning here on ABC at 10 o'clock, also Fox and Friends, and his own amazing show, the best show on cable, One Nation, 10 p.m. on Sunday nights. Something tells me that Brian is going to share the same sentiments that I just did.
Yeah, well, put it this way. For someone who lives on the prompter a lot, you know, and kind of, it's amazing. The guy never made any mistakes. I mean, I watch him every night live just growing up. It was just a staple. That's when local news was big. I mean, you watched WABC. You watch Eyewitness News. That's the one that was always upbeat, and he was the one who's never in a bad mood. And then you meet him in person, I think, now I'm going to hear about the dark side. Now I'm going to see that on-air persona was just an act, and it's totally wrong. It's him. Happy to be an American, loved his Greek heritage, excellent on the radio, and Sid, he was positive. I mean, that's how he got through life. And the thing is, I couldn't believe when I saw him in person for the first time. I think he did something locally on Fox and Friends. And then I go, wait a second. This guy's not aging. I mean, he looked fantastic. Smile on his face. Saw him at a few events that John Catsimatidis hosted. And I go, this is great. I mean, that's why it works. When people are good on TV and radio, they're themselves. They're thoroughly themselves. Hey, there's no difference. You're exactly like the same guy on radio and TV. And that's what he did. You know, he was authentic. That's probably the key to his success, plus the talent.
I think you described him perfectly, and you mentioned the John Catsimatidis relationship. Both men, proud Greek men, that Greek community here in New York, very, very tight-knit, very, very close. And, again, he was part of our family and certainly part of the legendary fabric. When you, like you said, when news was good, I mean, I don't watch these guys anymore. I got a very nice text a couple of days ago, last week, I'm not going to lie, from N.J. Burkett on Channel 7, but I can't watch Bill Ritter. I don't even know what the local people's names are anymore outside of Channel 5. I can't watch them. I certainly can't watch people like David Muir or Margaret Brennan, gone are the days when Tom Brokaw and Peter Jennings and even Dan Rather, who turned out to be the worst, they could hide it. Those days are gone. You just can't watch the news anymore because Ernie gave you the news. That's all he did. These guys, they have facial expressions. They throw in quick jabs. It's all about opinions.
Yes. And you know what's so interesting? You just brought this up. Two people exposed network news, Katie Couric and Dan Rather. As soon as they left the network and they were able to do their own thing and they're giving their opinions, they're coming out ripping every Republican from George W. Bush to Donald Trump. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second. This guy took over for Walter Cronkite? He's as left-wing as he gets, pretending to be up the middle, but never delivering up the middle news. And then you watch Katie Couric, one of her lead questions to Gavin Newsom is, how are you so good looking? How do you overcome being so good looking? And then you just see her outrage every time she talks about Donald Trump. And I go, wait, she was doing the Today Show, a fair and balanced look at upbeat news, whatever's happening in the world. But yet there had to be a secret agenda. It's not that you're prevented from having an opinion, but when you see such severe opinions, you wonder how that bled into the script that they were reading, pretending to be fair and balanced.
So a couple days ago, Brian, I had this gentleman named Jim Walden on this show. He ran for mayor, you may remember, and didn't do very well, but well-respected. My dear friend, he's on the show later this morning, the great defense attorney, Joseph Tacopina, loves this guy. They collaborate. They work together. So he's representing Vicky Palladino right now because Julie Menin, I'll say this, you don't have to, she's the Speaker of the City Council, and she's a phony. I mean, the phoniest of all. She's now taken 2 opportunities, not 1 but 2, to condemn me publicly in the papers and call me Islamophobic. In the meantime, she's a Jew. She's a Jew. She's calling me Islamophobic. So I'm done with Menin.
Didn't she do your show?
She did my show. I showered her with compliments. She was terrific. And then, just like after I had dinner with Jessica Tisch, and the Democrats and the Mamdani supporters went nuts on Jessica, and the papers called Jessica for a comment, and she said no comment. Same thing happened to Julie Menin. But when they asked Julie for a comment, she said, I condemn Rosenberg's Islamophobic rhetoric. Twice. So now she's all over Vicky Palladino, trying to censure her. So Walden is representing Vicky Palladino, and really Rosenberg and Palladino have become the face of the Mamdani resistance in New York because we're not afraid to speak out. So how ironic is it that his wife was exposed last Friday, liking all those graphic images from October the 7th, and now we find out she collaborated with another Jew hater who actually referred to Jews, you ready for this, as cockroaches. Where'd you hear that word before, Brian?
I think on one of your posts. So, yeah, this is incredible. But just stay on it, Sid. I mean, we're watching now the First Lady of New York City. Now it turns out she illustrated for an anti-Israel children's book, and let alone the 70 posts that she liked. And now we have Zohar Mamdani having the Mahmoud Khalil over for dinner. I mean, just continue to highlight all this. You don't even have to say your conclusions. I'm just pointing it out on a daily basis, the exposure. Let New York City know what they put in office. A person that has no leadership ability, that has no vision for the city. He has vision, I think, for his religion and his personal agenda. And believe me, Democrats look at him as an up-and-coming star. So you can't run from Zohar Mamdani. And that's what I think Bruce Blakeman gives him great hope, because Hochul's afraid of him, and Bruce Blakeman isn't. And that's why the Nassau County executive, with a record to run on, can simply say, when you go after Mamdani, I'm going after Hochul, because she does not condemn him at all. And believe me, after these elections, if she wins, she's going to do everything that he wants, including upping taxes.
I totally agree with all the talk about not upping taxes. She will do it 1,000%, and Bruce is starting to gain. That's the good news. Brian Kilmeade, last couple of polls, he's doing better, shorting that big lead that Hochul once had. So let's get it done here with Bruce Blakeman.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.